Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, just a quick glance back in the past here, not too distant, when just a few months ago, March 7th, 2023, Prince Harry, oh, you can see the headline there. Prince Harry reveals ongoing drug use is a fundamental part of his life. Harry spoke candidly about his ongoing recreational drug use, describing it as a fundamental part of his life. Recently spoke an opening of his recreational use of psychedelics. Harry said that it was like cleaning his windscreen, the removal of life's filters, blah, 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 blah. He said, I started doing it recreationally and started to realize how good it was for me. I would say a fundamental part of my life and help me deal with the traumas and pains of the past. They're unlocking so much of what we've suppressed. So he's all for drug use, which is what is so disturbing about this recent article, just came out May 15th, that drug addict Harry and his narcissistic psychopath wife visited more teenagers to talk about the social pressures of social media pressures for Mental Health Awareness Month. So these two psychos get access to American teenagers, and I find that very disturbing. Does nobody care about the children? Anyone? Because they obviously don't. If they're bringing these two drug addicts in to see children influencing young minds, even if it's only for an hour, it's more than enough. It's obvious photo op. But still, why do they keep giving access to young people to these monsters, to these drug addicts? So the Duke and Duchess, and of course they called him the Duke and Duchess the whole time. See, Megan's really trying to push herself on young people, young potential voters for her future. And we all know what happened the last time she met with teenagers during the lockdown when they illegally locked us down. She actually told the teenagers, "Oh, it was so much about me and nasty things on the internet about me. You know, I almost didn't survive." Right? So she brings in these teenagers who are locked down and shut out of school, and their lives are ruined. And she's like, "Poor you, well, poor me." Right? Poor me. I almost didn't survive all those comments on the internet, on Twitter. Oh my God. I mean, it's always about her. She's a freaking narc. But the thing is they're bringing young people into it, which is really disturbing. And these two are just doing things to piss us off. It's always to piss us off. That's all I gotta say. So, anyways, Harry, drug addict Harry, and his psycho wife, pathological liars, went to a youth group near their home in California to hear about the pressures young people face and having a candid conversation. Oh my God. So, making the announcement on their Archewell Foundation, H&M said they learned firsthand about the generation's experience with social media as a societal pressure and how it affects their mental well-being. Couple engaged with these amazing youth in candid conversations, working to find solutions together. Yeah, she's looking for future Sussex squatties. She's probably hiring them because they're going after the teenagers to make them like Antifa and make them activists. So, they're all trained in that critical race nonsense, all brainwashed already with Chinese Communist Party brainwashing. Oh my God. Unbelievable. I wonder if the parents even knew this, but unbelievable. So it's just bloody blah blah. It's just BS. We all know it. But I hope they gave them a hard time, but I don't know. They're enjoying the publicity, posing for pictures and everything. They're just like a famous person to them, I guess. But still, why are the schools giving access to these people is beyond me. Okay, well, it wasn't a school, thank goodness, but it was this place called AHA. Give teens the tools to feel safe and emotionally connected. Probably another communist Marxist one. It says AHA equips teenagers, educators, and parents with social and emotional intelligence to dismantle apathy, prevent despair, and interrupt hate-based behavior. Oh, like hate speech? Like freedom of speech? Are they against freedom of speech? Sounds like it. Oh, here we go. SEL. SEL is part of the critical race nonsense. SEL was created by UN and World Economic Forum. It's how they're dumbing down kids with this SEL program. They're making it math is racist and all this nonsense they come up with. So I think the idea is they're trying to teach these kids to be good slaves of the New World Order system where you own nothing and be happy. So, all this is all UN stuff. So this is all evil World Economic Forum UN stuff going on here. Look, 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 look. You got the BLM, right? Uh, there's two hearts. I don't know if that's one of their this is all UN stuff. So this is all part of the New World Order. Yeah. So this is more New World Order, Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum stuff here. This is brainwashing what they're doing to these children. Young people, I should say, teenagers, but it's still it's more brainwashing, it's more thought reform, it's more controlling the minds to put them on the metaverse and keep them controlled in the new system, the new world order system. Yeah, I can't remember. I saw a really good video describing this, but here's one example, one blog talking about it. The purpose of SEL is it's part of the ESG governance system, which you know about ESG. That's why the Bud Light thing happened. They're forcing companies to go woke. They have an ESG score, and of course BlackRock enforces this. And so this SEL is a part of that. It's part of their sustainable development goals with the United Nations. So they're bringing about mental health programs into schools to teach the correct values and attitudes. So they want to like drug all the kids, right? Basically, is what it comes down to, and give them all mental health evaluations. Mental health is the way they're going to control people. And if you don't agree with the New World Order and digital currency and the censorship, then just like they did in communist Russia, you'll be diagnosed with sluggish schizophrenia and be put in a mental institution. I mean, as Dr. Bregan points out, I think maybe Dr. Bregan talked about this. This is using mental health as a weapon to subdue a population and bring it under tyranny, is what it's about. So they're getting kids under this. All the kids are going to be getting they're warning parents, don't let your children be psychoanalyzed by the school, but they're the social emotional learning thing, SEL, is being pushed big time by the UN, and it's also called CASEL, CASEL, Collaboration for Academic Social Emotional Learning, and they're really dumbing them down, and it's only in America they're doing this, of course, not doing it in China, I'll tell you what. It's more communist thought reform, which is right here. Oops. SEL and the global movement moderator from Castle asked UNESCO's Dr. Anana Durapa, and they addressed how social emotional learning could be used to advance sustainable. Whenever you see sustainable, that's UN New World Order. And how do they do this? And they describe it in this document. Basically, they're just bringing them into communism. It's the bottom line. They're using all flowery language to get you there, and all the pretty little rainbow-colored graphs. So it's promoting sexual rights for children as young as 4. Okay, so it's pedophilia, grooming, and the World Health Organization. I'm sure you've heard they're encouraging uh, children as 0 to 4 to be learning about sexual things. Well, this is part of it. So this is part of SEL. And also social justice activism, okay, being Antifa, especially for LGBTQIA, XYZ, LMNOP, and teach children collectivism, a political theory associated with communism. Put the society over your individuality. This is completely anti-American, and this is being taught in the schools. And Harry and Meghan are going along with it. They're pushing it as well. So Harry and Meghan are still pushing the New World Order agenda, and they're pushing uh, you know, the mind effery of it. And so it's not surprising that Harry, who's like, "Oh, drugs are good. I love drugs. They help me clean my windshield wipers." So of course the New World Order is going to encourage drug use, right? That they're bringing China's bringing all kinds of drugs over the border. I mean, it's because they want to, and they're legalizing drugs everywhere because they want to tranquilize everybody as they bring in the digital currency and take over the government and take over your lives and enslave you. If you're just like high or drunk, or whatever, like the Biden administration was telling people, go have a margarita, right, during the COVID lockdowns. So this is what they want. So Harry and Meghan are still pushing it here in America. They're still pushing the New World Order, and they're doing it right in our faces, and they're doing it with the SEL, with these young people, and parading themselves like as if they're doing something so wonderful, talking about mental health to teenagers and posing for pictures as if they're some kind of they're these evil. Why are they wearing all black too? There's all smiling like, "Isn't this great? Isn't communism great?" See, Meghan and Harry, they're so happy to bring communism into America. Look at the smiles. Oh my goodness. Let's destroy all these young Americans' lives. Isn't it great? There's Meghan. She's like, "Yeah, you peasants are gonna have nothing and I'll have everything." So yeah, and of course pushing her own political agenda with this. So really dark, anti-American, anti-humanity, New World Order, bringing in the tyranny, grooming the kids for tyranny and communism. There you have it. Acting like, oh, this is so much fun. We get to talk about social media and how you should only say what Meghan wants you to say, or Harry will censor you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Talk about unbelievable. So let's see. What are Harry and Meghan's? Well, we already know what their intentions are, but how dark are their intentions as with everything they do? It's always evil and New World Order, Klaus Schwab. But let's see what their intentions are in visiting these poor, impressionable minds and exposing them to their evilness. All right, so let's take a look at this. I've already shuffled the cards. I'm going to be using the Crystal Vision Tarot. Right, pretty deck. I'm going to take a look at what the gruesome twosome were up to this time, right? They've just been out and about recently with their new PR firm. They've been going out to lunch with Gwyneth Paltrow, and who's a psychopath, I heard, as well as Cameron Diaz. Anyways, let's take a look at this. Why were Harry and Meghan lurking around a school of young minds? What the heck were they thinking? Let's find out. The Duke and Duchess of Suing and Sex. Let's see. We'll shuffle the cards and we'll split the deck. All right. So general attitude. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, Megan's trying to collect followers. Obviously, it's for work and to promote themselves and to promote Archie well, right? They're trying to make it look like they're actually doing some work. I mean, they're really trying to be royals in America, and that's another really nauseating thing about this. They're trying to make it their job to act like they're royals in America. Because as far as they're concerned, because they're New World Order, they don't consider this America. They consider it's a global citizenship now. There's no boundaries, there's no borders. They support that. Five of Cups reversed. They're focusing on unhappy people and spreading their unhappiness and getting their stories. They love that they're depressing the hell out of people, especially young people. I mean, this is what the New World Order is about. They're going to be depressing the hell out of people, but particularly young people are more vulnerable, and they want to, um, make it worse. Basically, I get it reversed. They're pretending like they're going to be reversing their sadness, but they're really poking a finger in it. You know, I mean, if they were really positive, like Catherine and William, they would do something positive, right? Like, let's do something. Let's, plant some trees but no, not Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan want to sit and talk and whine and how hard life is. And let's talk about all those terrible trolls on the internet who are all CIA agents and Sussex Squad trolls who are paid for by Meghan and her gang and her PR that are so nasty and vile. Let's talk about them and how mean and hurtful they are. So they're really, yeah, so this is her work, is going around depressing kids and depressing people, saying, you know what, Harry says drugs are good, they clean your windshield and you see things so much more clearly now, you should try it, Harry can score you some, just call Harry. So it might be their new work might be funneling drugs to the kids. Probably they have good connections, obviously. And Eight of Cups, turning their back on Americans, turning their back on people, uh, on America, like just turning their back on everyone. Here she's looking at the moon, just to make people crazier. So here's Megan waltzing in to make them even crazier and more upset than they are. And she's basically saying "F you," to the people, and they know how people are going to see this and what people think. She knows how much people hate her. They don't care. I mean, they're so. What are you going to do about it? They're a new world order, right? They got the power. They're bringing in their new world orderness. They're bringing in their communism, and they're shoving it in your faces. And this is their job to she's like coming out of the swamp here. She's like a swamp rat. You see, she's in the water. She's like coming out of the water. Megan's like monster from the Blue Lagoon. They're coming out. They're feeling empowered. They feel empowered by their being a part of the UN World Economic Forum agenda. Because this is where Megan plans to get more powerful to be, So Eight of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. They're pretending to be royals. This is their work. They're pretending, but turning their back also on their royal family, but making their new royal way here by, you know, doing it their way, doing the new royal family rule there. And oh yeah, underneath it all, the basis of what they're doing here. And Agar's playing the victim. I see the Hangman as uh one way of seeing it here is, parading around because it's reversed. So he's, showing off to everyone, putting it in the mainstream media that, oh, poor us, we're such victims. Look at us. We're all alone in the world. And look, Megan's getting more stories so that she can pretend that they're her own and give us speeches and pretend that their stories are her stories. I mean, because Megan doesn't have an original thought in her mind, right? So they're acting like they're doing such good in the world. Yeah, we sat down for a full hour with these young people, an hour. And it probably took about 20 minutes to sit everybody down and settle down. So probably they really only spent maybe 40 minutes tops, actually. And they probably didn't jump up and offer stories right away. So it probably was like maybe two or three stories, but they make it sound, they have all these pictures being taken. Let's pose for pictures. People Magazine's here. Everybody pose. So, I mean, obviously it was to, make it seem like they're, doing such good work and everyone's picking on them. And look at them. They're helping all these young people in no way at all. Uh, you know, bringing them to their doom. What inspired Harry and Meghan to show up at a school with young people? Nine of Wands reversed. Yeah. Look at that. Virgo. It's like the Virgo and the Leo there. Well, they realize they haven't been getting any publicity. They haven't been doing anything worthwhile. And so they're now trying to restart their, you know, campaign there. They're trying to restart their careers, I guess, if you want to call it that. Harry took a day off from polo playing, and Meghan took a day off from Marcus Anderson to go act like they're a couple for the PR. I mean, Wands, obviously PR. So they're coming out of hiding for a little bit, trying to make it seem like they're doing stuff. We know they're not doing anything at all. Sitting down for an hour conversation. But yeah, I mean, this is part of New World Order, Major Arcana down here. It's a group effort. So they had to put in their time for the New World Order. What are they expecting from this? Seven of Cups. Look at that, the dragon. So they're in the rainbow. So again, the New World Order being on the internet, they wanted to publicize this and to support Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and everyone else, that they're still doing work towards that effort. And Megan, they were talking about, there's that video, the woman's talking about the scandals about someone has to feed the dragon. I put it in my community tab. There's Megan. She's the one feeding the dragon there, the evil dragon behind the whole power of the evil powers of the New World Order there. I mean, this is Megan riding the dragon here. This dragon is the UN and the World Economic Forum that's destroying the world. It's also, another the evil, Satan there is, symbolic of Satan. And Megan's riding in on Satan there to, she's the whore there. She's the one bringing to destroy the world, destroy, uh, you know, the Western world there. So, it is all just attention, of course, on the internet and to get more support. Okay, so she thinks also Seven of Cups, I see it often as an internet card, but she sees it as, they're pushing with their communist thought reform going on there. She's pushing the idea of, hate speech. Can't have that, right? Right? Yeah. So the way they're really twisting the minds of young people nowadays is really frightening. Meghan and Harry are all in on it. They just love it. They're unconscious bias, you know. Unbelievable. So what are they afraid of or not want from all this? Oh, High Priestess reversed. Wow. Well, they don't want to lose their power. Megan doesn't want to lose. I see this now as Megan with her magic high priestess power here. And she doesn't want to lose that because her job is to make everyone crazy, right? Her and Harry, that's part of their job. And I think Megan is, again, this is part, when I say it's part of the New World Order, is, a satanic world order, and you have a bunch, and she works for Oprah and Clinton, who are all high, they call them high priestesses, right? So Megan's doing the work of them. So to keep them happy, she doesn't want the high priestesses being unhappy. So her and Harry have to go push the agenda there. They were pushed there as well. And they hoping for? What are they hoping for by doing this? Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, money, future opportunities. They're reminding everyone with the ESG, like, hey, you've got to push our agenda and push us and support us, right? So I think part of ESG is supporting Harry and Meghan because they're pushing the New World Order agenda. So they're expecting to get money, get, what the land and whatever, get paid, right? Doing work for Klaus Schwab. They expect to get paid, be taken care of. How did Harry and Meghan really see that the young people that they met? Oh, Four of Cups reversed. Yeah, so they couldn't care less about the young people and what they had to say. This is like the young people telling their stories of being locked down and feeling depressed. And Meghan and Harry couldn't care less. They're like, wah, wah, wah. They're like, you think you have it bad? Poor Harry, he comes from a royal racist family full of unconscious bias. So there's a minor arcana. So they weren't there for the children. I shouldn't say children, the young people, okay? The young adults. They weren't there for them. There's a minor arcana here, which means they went for themselves and because to support the UN agenda, World Economic Forum agenda, and to support that publicly and for the PR and to bash and to push the censorship on the internet, right? Because according to Harry and Meghan, all their problems come from mean tweets. Yeah. Oh my God. And they're drugs. A lot of drug use influence here as well, these cups and the high priestess. Yeah, I'm getting that. They're also there saying, Puff the Magic Dragon. We know where you could score some good stuff. I think there's some drug dealing going on there. Just saying. Maybe they're gonna hire him. You want an after-school job? Yeah, I need somebody to go pick up my drugs there on Rodeo Drive. Thanks. Uh, wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't. So what happened afterwards? What they do afterwards? Oh, Hierophant reversed. So, competing with the royal family as usual, and also full of lies. And also, the Hierophant is a teacher as well. And I see this in the church. He's got the cross on, but Harry and Meghan, they're not about the cross upright. They're about the cross upside down. So they're there to lead the children astray, the young people astray. And I see this behind him as all the circles the UN has. The UN puts everything in cute little icons, cute little circles and cartoons. So this is like the UN and World Economic Forum, and with their SEL and their castle here. And so they're leading so this would be leading in a correct way, leading the minds. This is the spiritual advisor, but it's just a teacher, and it's someone who leads people to the truth, to the right way. And of course, Meghan and Harry are trying to lead them to the wrong way. They're leading them to hell. They're leading them to tyranny, to a life of slavery, to losing all of their human rights. It's what the World Health Organization wants to do. And so this is what Harry and Meghan is really, and the major arcana here, they have the backing. Obviously, Harry and Meghan are not the ones that getting all this ESL and Castle into the schools. It's the New World Order with all the money and BlackRock and with Larry Fink and others who are with all the money, pushing this and all the textbooks and the programs and getting it in there. And Harry and Meghan are just helping it along, helping push this brainwashing or thought reform nonsense into communism. So I do think that they have successfully, done, and they're going to do more, and they're thinking more of how they can mislead the youth. I'm sure Meghan invited them all to her website and said, "Come to my website and leave a story. Don't forget I can copyright it and use it as my own for another book." And results, but really, really nasty, evil stuff going on here. The end result, King of Pentacles. So you can see this as the Harry card. He is the Earth guy. So this could be mostly boosting Harry's future drug business and his future mental health app, right? Because Harry is associated with a mental health app. So I think they also plugged that and pushed that, and perhaps Harry's looking to recruit young brainwashed teenagers to work for him and to boost him. And it's also to boost both of their uh, reputations and whatnot. But I think this was also somehow to benefit Harry the most. I mean, both of them to benefit, but Harry as well, and but both of them financially, and Harry himself to try to make it look like he's actually doing something besides playing polo. I also get the feeling this is to boost Harry's, confidence up to be a quote unquote working royal, since was so dissed by the royal family when he went to the coronation, and that's part of like they turn their back on the royal family, right? Harry goes to the coronation, turns his back, and runs away because it's about Harry and Meghan. And then he turns around, he acts like, well, I'm a big shot in America. Look at me. I'm a global leader over here. And look out, royal family, because we're the new global royal family. So this is boosting their career as the anti-royals. I mean, this could be also seen as like the anti-royals. You've got the royal family, and then you've got the anti-royals. Like you got the Pope, and you get the anti-Pope, right? You get the Christ, you get the anti-Christ, right? So they're the anti-royal family, Harry and Meghan, particularly Harry. He wants to be king of the world, and he's still working towards it. And this is to boost, of course, their career, boost themselves up, and because of course they're doing nothing at home but being insane and high all the time in his LSD. You know, I think that you can only play polo so much, right? This is Harry and his polo stick over here. Like I said, he got off the field for one day. This is Harry. Harry wants to play more polo. You know. It's all he wants to do all day and night. But he also want to feel like that Meghan's trying to get him something to feel like he's a productive working royal. Because all Harry knows how to do is be a royal and go around and go to openings and meet and greets, right? That's all he knows how to do. But nobody wants him around. Nobody wants to invite him. So yeah, so they're continuing their mission to be the anti-royals, to boost Harry to be king of the world, or at least king of California, the communist California, of course, king of communist New World Order is what they're still working towards. And this is, of course, all part of it. But of course, always playing the victim, always poor them. They're such victims of all that hate speech and that misinformation, all communist terminology that they're using to suppress freedom of speech and all other freedoms. But SEL will teach them to put the community first and to control their emotions and just go get high and don't worry about what's right or wrong or whether you have any rights or not. Yeah, so they're really doing a number and they're still working towards it. And Harry is loving it. And Harry's still doing his Masonic evil satanic agenda as always. So yeah, so they just do. Remember the last time when they met the teenagers again, going back to that in 2020 when Harry and Meghan met the mental health teenagers there. They were people contacted the group on Twitter and said, "Do you know Harry and Meghan? This they lie about this and that," and the young people, the teenagers there, responded with satanic stuff, like evil stuff. So they were obviously into Satanism. It turned out, and the people were shocked. Like, look what they responded back. These teenagers. So I wouldn't doubt Satanism is also a part of this AHA youth group. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me actually that there isn't some like after school program because they have satanic after school clubs now, right? I mean, Satanism is right out there. They have after school clubs now. They're started trying to start them everywhere. So is this a satanic thing as well? Oh yeah, son. I think Megan's also looking for a babysitter for her if she has children. I know many people don't think she does, but if she does have some surrogate children, she's looking for a babysitter for them. But I also get that. I get that as a yes. I get that as oh yes, yes. I mean, I get that as a positive, affirmative to that question. I mean, this whole thing is satanic, so I mean, you don't even have to ask. Of course, at the top of the reading, we have the demonic dragon up there, so and right next to Harry. So yeah, totally satanic and breeding in their new generation of satanic children that came from who knows where. They probably kidnapped them from a foreign country. You know how the child trafficking is saying. I think Harry and Meghan know a lot more about that than we do. But yeah, so they are still trying to push their agenda, as pathetic and as they are. And Harry really got a boost out of this, and that's what they wanted. So that is what I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.